Yes, you read that title correctly. Yes, this is part one. And yes, I am showing you my entire video game collection. 412 video games. I know for some collectors that does not sound like a lot, but for someone who wasn't able to collect video games when they were a kid, that is a lot to me. And let me just say, I'm quite proud of my collection so far. I have been very much getting into video game collecting, and it's been both fantastic and the bane of my fucking existence. The reason that I'm doing this mostly is because I have an idea for a video series that I think I want to do either every month or every other month, depending on my financial situation, called the Video Game Roundup or something. The title is kind of a work in progress, but I thought it would be kind of interesting because I've been doing a lot of game collecting every month. I've been kind of scouring through eBay and finding cool stuff to add to my said collection. And I thought it'd be interesting if I made a small video series where at the end of every month, I would go through every single game that I either collected that month or the past couple months if there's not that many. It'll be kind of a shorter video series, but it'll also give you guys something while you guys are waiting for my much bigger projects when they come out. And it'll be a lot easier for me to just have like a small time edit and just have something. Also, I've been wanting to do this for a while, at least show off some of my PlayStation collection and that kind of stuff, just to kind of make myself not vulnerable, but like just kind of show you guys like what kind of person I am, what kind of gamer I am, like what kind of games I play. I thought it'd be interesting just because we're starting to get some new viewers on the channel. It'd be interesting to kind of show you guys like what kind of stuff I'm into, as well as also give me like potential streaming ideas or potential video ideas, some stuff that you guys would like to see. So if there's something in this stack or any of my other stack that I'm going to be pulling off my shelf in the next couple parts that you guys want to see a video on, please let me know in the comments below. Also, for those who don't know and are new here, I have a live streaming channel called OperationGamer Live. Please go check that out in the description below. We are currently playing through Final Fantasy 16. Well, actually, by the time this video comes out, I don't know if we are currently streaming it, but if we did, then we just got done streaming it. We have multiple different games that we play over there on the channel, but I know as of this recording, I am playing Final Fantasy 16. It is fantastic, and I love it. Not the point. I need to turn off my goddamn... But yeah, please go check it out if you guys want to see me stream. I stream every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Sometimes they're subject to change based off of real life preferences, but I try to stream at least twice a week just to give A, some content for you guys, and B, video ideas for me. How this whole thing is going to be structured is every single week for the month of August, I'm going to be releasing a new part of this series. So this first part that we are doing right here is going to be current gen consoles or last gen consoles. So we're going to be going through Xbox, PS5, and PS4 games. No, Switch isn't in this category, but I had to put that in a different category for different reasons. The next part is going to be kind of last gen console, not last gen, but like the gen before last gen. So like PS3, 360, and then the gen before that, which is PS2 and original Xbox titles. The third part is going to consistently be of handheld games, that being Vita, PSP, Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS. Then the last part of this video series is going to be vintage consoles as well as all the other Nintendo titles, such as Switch, Wii, Wii U, GameCube, N64, NES, SNES, and then PS1 for the rest of those vintage consoles. But with this video series being done, the first video game roundup, or whatever title I decide to call it, will be starting in September when I am more financially stable, as well as have some more video games actually arriving, because I did order some games before the recording of this video, but they're going to be taking a long time because they are fan-translated stuff that you can't get in the US. So that will be taking place in the next video game roundup, which will be in September. And also, I'm currently kind of broke, so this will be fun. And don't worry, this will not take place of my original big video of August. I don't know when that's going to come out. I'm really hoping it's going to be a review of Final Fantasy 16. Hopefully, if I finished it at this point. So, be sure to check out Operation Gamer Live to kind of see my whole update on that. And without further ado, we're going to get started. This first pile has 127 games in it, and this includes Xbox One, PS5, as well as PS4. And we're going to go ahead and do it in that order, mostly just because I don't have as many Xbox games as I do PlayStation games. Actually, PS4 is probably the console that I have the most amount of. And also do keep in mind that I haven't played every single one of these games. Good God, I've only been collecting for at least a couple years now, and a lot of these are games that either I want to play or games that I thought would just kind of look neat in my collection, which maybe I'll play for a stream, I don't know, but yeah, so just keep in mind, I tried recording this before, and I felt bad that I didn't play a lot of these games, but now I just don't give a shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on these games we got here. The first game up for Xbox is The Blob. Now, this was a fairly cheap game. When I first got my Xbox One X, I literally just found this really cheap at a GameStop, and I just picked it up. I haven't played it yet, but it looks interesting, so The Blob is up first. Another one that I just kind of got for the sake of collecting is Dead Rising 4. This is another one that I found kind of cheap. I don't remember if it was at GameStop or if it was a pawn shop. I've heard a lot of good things about the Dead Rising series, so I kind of wanted to try it out. I found Dead Rising 4. I haven't cracked into this yet, but it looks interesting, so Dead Rising 4 is up next. After that, we have Forza Motorsport 7. I have played this game a little bit. It was kind of fun. I played this game the first day that I got my Xbox One X. I played it with my girlfriend because she is very much into racing games, and I just wanted to find something that I could play with her. So I bought Forza because it was one of the staples of Microsoft, and it was fun. But I've only ever played it once, but that is sitting there on the shelf. Next up, we have Grand Theft Auto 5, and yes, these are all in alphabetical order. I haven't cracked into this version yet. The biggest reason why I bought this one in specific is because I have it for the PS4, and I played it for the PS4, but my friends kind of took over the reins, to be quite honest with you. So they beat like literally 90% of that game for me and got most of the trophies. So I bought this game that I could play for myself. I've never been a big Grand Theft Auto fan, not gonna lie. I didn't really grow up with the series, but I felt bad that I didn't play it myself, so I'm gonna be cracking into this soon, hopefully. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 for Xbox. Also, if you guys see a light flickering, something's going on with my light bulb up there, so my apologies. Next up, another one that I have not played yet, It Takes Two. I've heard good things about this game and that it's a really good co-op game. The biggest reason why I bought this was that I could have another game that my girlfriend and I could play together. We haven't quite gotten into it yet just due to our busy schedules, but It Takes Two is on my shelf, and I do plan on playing it here soon. Another game that I picked up for slightly cheap at Walmart is Mafia Definitive Edition. I haven't played this yet. It looked interesting. I own Mafia 3 for the PS4, as you were going to see, and it was another game that I kind of picked up cheap. It looked interesting. I kind of want to crack into it at some point, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, that is up here on the shelf. Next up, of course, we have to have the craft. We got to have the Minecraft. Biggest reason why I bought this for Xbox was so I could play Minecraft with my friends who are on Xbox, as well as I wanted to try to make a video on getting all the achievements and how fast you could, how long it takes to get all the achievements. So I bought that specifically for a video sake, but yeah, Minecraft for the Xbox One. Next up, we have Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition. The biggest reason why I bought this is I was playing a lot of the Minecraft Dungeons at the arcade that I have down the line, and they have these arcade cabinets where you can get like cards and stuff and customize your characters. I thought they carried over to this, and I was very, very, very wrong. So I haven't quite cracked into this guy yet, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be playing with my friends. But yeah, Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition. I believe I own this digitally on the PS4. So that'll definitely be something that I'll be playing with my friends and getting achievements for. Next up, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, the biggest reason why I have this one in specific was I started cracking into the Tomb Raider series, like the current gen Tomb Raider series, when Julie was going through her surgery. and I could not find this for PS4 anywhere, like at all. And so I found it for Xbox for fairly cheap, and I bought it. This one I have played through, and it's a really, really fun game. Highly recommend for anyone who's really into those action-adventure games. The Tomb Raider series is fantastic. But yeah, I own that for Xbox One. I did eventually get it for the PS4, which you will see here soon. But yeah, this is a really fun time. Highly recommend it for anyone who has not played the Tomb Raider series. Another game that I haven't quite cracked into yet that's also kind of a 360 title as well, Skate 3. I played some Tony Hawk when I was younger. I played Tony Hawk Underground 2 when I had a stepbrother, and I always found skating games to be really interesting, so I bought Skate 3. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and that it's a much different from the Tony Hawk series, so I'm very excited to get into this bad mamma jamma. But for now, yeah, this is just kind of sitting on my shelf. But yeah, Skate 3. And the last game for the Xbox One/series category is World War Z. Honestly, this was just a cheap purchase. I just wanted to expand my Xbox collection a little bit, so I bought this. I haven't played it. I don't even know if it's good, but it's just sitting on my shelf. And that's the Xbox collection, a whole 11 games for Xbox. I do plan on expanding my category a little bit with Xbox, especially since there's going to be a lot more Xbox exclusive stuff nowadays. Like I said, I've always just been a bigger PlayStation person. It's what I grew up on. So if I'm going to get it on PlayStation, and that's where all my trophies and stuff are. So if I can get it on PlayStation, most likely I'll be getting it on PlayStation. But I do understand that there are a lot of Xbox exclusive titles that I do want to be getting at some points, like some of the Halo series and that kind of stuff. So I do plan on expanding my Xbox collection a little more. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. All right, so moving on to PS5. We have a whole 26 games to get through, mostly because the PS5 is obviously the current gen console and they're expensive as fuck. But the first one I have is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, I've been trying to get into the Assassin's Creed series for a little bit. I've only ever played one Assassin's Creed game that you will see later on down the line, so I haven't quite cracked into Valhalla yet. I've heard good things about it. I don't own the newest one, Mirage. I'm trying to see if it's a game series for me before I start buying a lot of the newer games, but I have been racking up quite the Assassin's Creed collection. It's definitely really interesting, kind of hard to control, at least the one that I have played. I'll go deeper into it when I actually get to it, but I haven't quite played Valhalla yet. I've heard good things about it, but for now, it's just kind of sitting on my shelf. So next up, we have Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. This is a remake from the original Crisis Core. I played through the original Crisis Core before this released, and I haven't cracked into this yet, and I'm very, very disappointed that I haven't yet, because it looks like such a fun remake, and I'm really, really excited to actually crack into it, because it takes a lot of the, it looks like the graphics and stuff from Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I really enjoyed, regardless of unpopular belief. Or I guess, I don't know if it's unpopular. I don't care. But yeah, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, I'm very, very excited to crack into. I just haven't had the time yet, unfortunately. But yeah, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Next up is Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. Biggest reason why I bought this is because the last couple years I have been getting into D&D. I play every Tuesday with my friends. And I bought this to see if it was worthy for my friends and I to get together and play, because as far as I'm aware, oh wait, 2 to 4 network players can join. That's what I thought. Okay, but I wanted to try to play this game together, and I haven't yet. I haven't tried it yet. I've heard mixed opinions on it, but yeah, I haven't cracked into this yet. So if this is good, let me know in the comments below. Next up, we have some Far Cry 6. Now, this was one of my highly, highly anticipated titles when getting my PS5. I saw this was announced, and I played Far Cry 5 and 4 and immediately just fell in love with the Far Cry series. And I got Far Cry 6, and I played it, and I really, really enjoyed the gameplay. The story, though, is just extremely lacking, unfortunately. If this is another series you guys want me to dive into, this is another one that I wanted to do a ranking on, but I wanted to play all the Far Cry games first. So yeah, Far Cry 6, I really, really enjoyed the gameplay. Some of the characters were okay, but like I felt like the story was extremely weak. But it's still a fun first-person shooter. Just buy it at a discount. Mostly just because the story just isn't worth it, in my personal opinion. Next up, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This was another one that I wanted to put on my shelf. I've always been very, very into the FNAF lore. I'm not a big horror game person, unfortunately, so I haven't cracked into this yet, but I feel like this is one of the games that I could handle. Except for a couple parts, probably. But I got this game so I could try to push myself to play some horror games, and I really, really am into the FNAF lore. Probably not enough to do videos and stuff on it. I'll leave that to Daco and the game theorists and all that. But I've always enjoyed myself some FNAF, so of course I had to get this on my shelf. Next up, of course, we gotta have it, Final Fantasy 16, man. I absolutely fucking love this game. I'm not done with it yet. Is it in my PS5? That's what I thought. I was wondering what was shaking around it. It was just the inserts. But yeah, I absolutely fucking love this game so far. I don't know how close I am to the end, but I love the combat. I love the story. The story is fucking heart-wrenching. The atmosphere pisses me off for various reasons and for various obvious reasons. But Final Fantasy 16, if you love action games and you love a gut-wrenching story and all that shit, this is a must pick up. I paid full price for this. I fucking love this game. This is such a great game. Just highly recommend for anyone who has a PS5. Next up is another controversial Square Enix title, and that is Forspoken. I actually got this very, very cheap through one of my friends at a pawn shop. I think I only paid like 25 bucks for this, and it was sealed. Like, the wrapping was still around it. Everything is still inside of it. The disc is like flawless. Like, this is perfectly clean in 25 bucks. When I was buying this though, my friend who works at the pawn shop was like, no, don't, like, it's just not worth it. And I'm just like, I've always been curious about it. It looked interesting. The gameplay looked interesting. I already know that this is a very controversial title, but I want to see if I enjoy it before I start listening to Twitter. So I bought Forspoken. I haven't cracked into it yet, but I'm really excited to at least give it a shot. But yeah, Forspoken is here. Next up is another one that I haven't cracked into yet, Ghosts of Tsushima. This came as a recommendation from my friend Micah, and it looks really interesting. I just haven't cracked into it yet, so I really don't have too many opinions on it, but I can't wait to bust this out. I don't know if I'm going to stream this or not, but yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is here, Director's Cut Edition. I'm excited to try it. Up next is Godfall. This was a PS5 launch title. When I first got my PS5, I was trying to fill up my game collection, and I found this kind of cheap at a pawn shop when it first came out. I guess it was like 20 bucks under what they were brand new. So honestly, this was just more of an impulse buy. I haven't played it yet. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but yeah, I have Godfall. Up next is Hades. I actually got this for $5 at a GameStop. One of my friends works at GameStop. They said it was going on clearance. They recommended it, and they marked it down to like $10. I had a $5 off coupon, so I bought Hades. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard good things about it so far. So yeah, Hades is here. Another PS5 launch title that I just kind of bought on a whim because I wanted to try to see if I could get into this series is Hitman 3. I tried playing the first level of this, and I got stuck. And that's all the experience of Hitman that I have. So yeah, I do have Hitman 3, mostly just because I would like to retry it at some point to see if I can't, get stuck this time. But yeah, Hitman 3 is here. Another one that I kind of bought off the whim is a game called In Sound Mind. This is a psychological horror game that I saw a bunch of trailers for, and it just looked extremely interesting. I tried playing a little bit of it, and I kind of got scared. It was obvious. It was probably not it probably wasn't something that was that bad, but like the night that I tried this, I just wasn't in the right state of mind. But yeah, In Sound Mind seems like a really, really interesting time, and I really want to try it, so I think I might try to play this for October's video. I haven't fully decided yet. But yeah, this looked interesting, so I bought it. I'm going to do both of these at the same time, mostly because I feel the same way about both of them. But we have Judgment and Lost Judgment. I absolutely love these games. I bought Judgment just kind of off of a whim at freaking GameStop, and I think it was like $30 at the time. It looked extremely interesting, so I looked up a trailer and I was like, huh, this is interesting. So I bought it, I played it. This was when I was first getting my PS5. Absolutely loved it. And so of course I had to get the sequel, Lost Judgment, which regardless to, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually liked this better than the original Judgment. Not because of gameplay-wise, but the story hits absolutely fucking hard. The story in Judgment also does hit hard, don't get me wrong, but Lost Judgment, its story and its like morals and its values and stuff like that, this one hits you like a fucking freight train. Kind of like how Final Fantasy 16 did. Lost Judgment made me feel shit. But regardless, both of them are extremely fun. They're based off of the Yakuza series, so if you're into the Yakuza series and you have a PS5 or PS4, pick these titles up. They're so much fun. Highly, highly, highly recommend. In between those two is Life is Strange: True Colors. I am a big, big fan of the Life is Strange series. I was a very, very big fan of the first one. The Before the Storm was okay. The second one, regardless of what anyone says, I really, really enjoyed the second one. I thought it definitely did some stuff better than the first one. The first one is still my favorite in terms of overall story and mechanics and stuff like that, but I think Life is Strange 2 did some things a lot better, and I was very, very excited for Life is Strange: True Colors because you could control your power again. This was a disappointment, though. I'm not gonna lie. I thought what they were doing was interesting with bringing back the power and it being reusable again, and I want to make a video on this because this honestly was just an extreme disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. I did think the characters were interesting, but the story was just kind of iffy, as well as the overall length was just very disappointing. But I mean, if you want to try it, it's still a good game. It's just not as great as it could have been. It's still a good game. If you want to try it, wait for it to be on discount. But yeah, Life is Strange: True Colors. Another horror game that I kind of bought off the whim, or I don't know if it is another horror game, but The Medium. It looked interesting, so I bought it for fairly cheap. That's all I can really say. I haven't played it yet, but it looked interesting. Another game that I highly, highly anticipated for with the release of the PS5, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. If you are a Ratchet & Clank fan and you have a PS5, you need this game. It's not my favorite by far, but with the haptic feedback and using all of your guns and stuff, this was so much fun. I bought this for full price when it first released, obviously, because I'm a huge Ratchet & Clank fan. You can get it for a fairly cheap discount now, but this is a must play if you have a PS5. If you're a Ratchet & Clank fan, the story and the enemy design, the enemy like variety might not be the best, but this is for a gameplay experience. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is so much fun, and I can't wait to replay this on the channel so I can, you know, re-experience this. I did play a playthrough of this on OperationGamer Live in the old archives if you want to go dig that up. But yeah, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart must play for PS5 users. Next up, of course, I had to get Resident Evil 4 Remake. Once again, I am not very, very big into horror games, but I watched people play through this. I watched someone play through the original Resident Evil 4, and so I decided to watch a couple playthroughs of Resi 4 just to kind of see what the experience was like, and this looks like it's such a fun game. I haven't cracked into it yet, but this is very, very much action-based, which I can definitely handle in a horror game. When it comes to horror games, if I can defend myself, I feel a lot better about it. But yeah, I'm very excited to give this one a shot and a playthrough. If this is something you want me to stream, please let me know. Of course, with me getting Resi 4, I also have Resi 8. Another one that I haven't quite cracked into yet, just because I've been just kind of busy and playing other games. But I've seen people play through this. It looks like a lot of fun, not for the reasons that you might think that a lot of people are praising this game for. But, of course, it had to go in the collection. There's no way that this couldn't be in the collection. But I'm very excited to actually give this a shot at some point in my life. Y'all watch my Balan Wonderworld video, you know that I have a Sackboy Big Adventure. This game I got for a launch title with my PS5. I've played a little bit of it. It hasn't really intrigued me that much. I still want to go back to it. I haven't played through like the little big planets, nor do I have them in my collection. So this is the only like Sackboy game that I got. So I want to finish it. I just haven't had the interest to play it. So, but it's still here on my shelf in case I ever do want to pick it back up again. Another game that I kind of bought on a whim at a pawn shop, mostly because I had a friend kind of hook me up, Scarlet Nexus. This is an anime style action-based RPG, and it's actually really fun. I haven't completed it yet. I need to. There's like 2 storylines that you can do, and I started on the male protagonist first. But this is fun. If you're an anime fan and you're an action RPG fan, give Scarlet Nexus a look. Maybe wait for it to be a little cheaper. But yeah, give Scarlet Nexus a try. It's actually really fun. With me being an SMT nerd, I had to pick up Soul Hackers 2. I bought this on launch. I haven't played it yet, mostly because I had other things to play at the time. When people were reviewing this game, they kind of gave it mixed reviews, so I haven't really had the drive to play it yet, mostly because I also haven't experienced Soul Hackers 1, even though I don't really need to. But I do own it. I do want to play it. If this is another one you want me to stream, please let me know. Down to our final 3, we have Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. Me being a Final Fantasy geek, I needed to pick up Stranger of Paradise. I've heard good and bad things about it. It's not one that I haven't cracked into yet. I think I bought this when I was going through and trying to play all of the Final Fantasy games, so this wasn't on my list or my radar to actually start, but I do own it and I do want to play it, and this might be another streamable game if need be. This was also a must-have, but another one that I wanted to wait for a really good discount, and I did. I got this for 20 bucks. The Uncharted not Nathan Drake collection, the Legacy of Thieves collection. Sorry, the Nathan Drake collection will come later. I am a fucking huge fan of Uncharted, and currently Julie and I are playing through Uncharted 4 because I got her hooked because I am an asshole. But I had to get this for PS5 because A, haptic feedback, and B, PS5 remaster, that kind of stuff. Like, for me being an Uncharted nerd, I had to get this, but I did want to wait for it to become discounted, and yeah, and I was able to get it for 20 bucks, so I take that as a win. But yeah, if you're a PS5 owner, pick this up. Definitely play the first 3 games first if you haven't yet, but this is totally worth it at a discounted price. And last but not least, from my PS5 collection, I have Yakuza Like a Dragon. I bought this also at a discounted price at a GameStop. I have heard good things about it. When I brought it up to the game counter person, they asked me if I was into the Yakuza series, and I said, I've played Judgment, but I haven't played any of the Yakuza games, and he goes, do you like turn-based RPGs? I'm like, yeah. Or do you like turn-based games? And I was like, yeah, I like turn-based games. It's like, I think you'll enjoy that one. It's kind of dumb, but I think you would really like it. So I haven't played it yet, but it looks like a good time, so this is also in the collection. And that concludes all of my PS5 games. Now we are moving on to PS4, for which I have 90. I'm gonna be here for a minute. I'm gonna speed through some of these and kind of group through some of these, mostly just so I can save on time. But first off, we have A Way Out. This was a game that was co-op, and it looked interesting, and I got this as a present, but I haven't quite gotten to it yet, but I'm excited to try it out. Of course, I had to get some Among Us as well. I mostly bought this because I was getting a 2-pack, one for me and one for my brother so we could play online. Hasn't happened yet, but yeah, Among Us, had to have it. Astrobot Rescue Mission is another one. This is actually a really fun, it's a really fun platformer. If you own a PSVR, like the first edition, highly recommend checking this out. I bought a VR playroom that had like an example of what one of the levels would look like, and having that as a fully realized game is really fun. So if you're really into platformers and you have a PSVR, check out Astrobot Rescue Mission. It's actually really fun. I'm going to group all of these together because most of them I have not played yet, and that is my Assassin's Creed little collection here. I have the Ezio Trilogy 3 Remastered, both of which so Ezio Trilogy I bought at a GameStop, 3 Remastered I bought at a pawn shop. Unity I also bought at a pawn shop and is the only one that I have played through entirely, and I'm kind of iffy on it, but I'm still going to try it out. Odyssey and Origins, and Syndicate, I believe, I also all bought at either Walmart or pawn shops, as well as Chronicles I bought at a GameStop. So I own all of these. I'm building up my Assassin's Creed collection so I can at least have them if I want to try to get into them. But yeah, Unity is the only one I've played through. It was alright for the most part, but you know, that probably was my biggest mistake according to some people. So yeah, I can't wait to give all these a shot and try to get into the Assassin's Creed series. Batman Arkham VR was one that I bought for Julie because she's very much into Batman, but neither one of us has played it yet. But I bought it for cheap, so it's here. I have Bee Simulator. I blame Jonah. Bendy and the Ink Machine, another popular game when it was released, so I bought it because A, I wanted to have it, and B, I wanted Julie to try it, which she has. Haven't beaten it yet, but Bendy and the Ink Machine is here. Blood and Truth, another really good VR game. It's definitely a lot more action-based. I wish it is point and click kind of, but it's still really fun just to be able to use your wands and like shoot people and like dual wielding AK-47s. Really fun time if anyone is really into those spy things. Definitely buy it at a discounted price and try it out for yourself, but I personally had a lot of fun with this one. Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, another series that I have not quite gotten into yet. I mostly own this because I tried to buy a game for my brother, which didn't work, so I traded it out for something else, and I ended up buying him the game brand new, so you don't have to worry about it anyways. But I do own this for reasons that my friends can explain. But yeah, I own this. I haven't played it yet, though. Catherine Fullbody did a video on this last February. This, of course, is a European case. I did indeed find a American disc version so I can actually get the fucking DLC. But yeah, Catherine Fullbody, really fun time. I explain everything in my video on it, so please go check that out. Moving along to the next stack, we have the Crash Insane Trilogy. A lot of people know who watch my livestream channel. I started playing this. I haven't finished it yet, mostly because it's kind of pissing me off, not gonna lie. But I do own the Crash Insane Trilogy. I want to try to get into Crash as much as I can. So if you guys want me to continue that, let me know in the comments. And of course, because I own the Insane Trilogy, I did have to own Crash 4 that I bought cheap at a pawn shop, as well as CTR Nitro Fueled, which I bought off of Amazon. Haven't cracked into these yet, but I will be doing it on stream at some point. Next up, we have Control. This is literally just a game that I found for cheap. It looked interesting, so I bought it. Next up, we got a couple of the Souls games. This is Dark Souls 2, as well as Dark Souls 3. I haven't gotten quite into the Souls series yet, so you will not be seeing Elden Ring or anything in here. I want to decide if Dark Souls is actually a series that I want to actually play before I spend a bunch of money actually getting the games. I've heard good things about them. I've heard some things that are hard about them, but I haven't played Dark Souls yet, so let me know if that's something you want to see. Death Stranding is up next. I got this as a gift from my brother for Christmas. I've heard mixed reviews about it. I haven't played it yet, so I don't have an opinion on it yet, but I do plan on trying it at least once. I've heard mixed things about it, so. But for now, it's sitting here on my shelf. Devil May Cry HD Collection, another game series that I haven't quite gotten into yet, but I did want to try considering I'm playing SMT Nocturne, and Dante is technically in the game, not in the version that I'm playing on stream, but it looked interesting, so I bought it, and I'm going to give it a shot at some point. Doom VFR is another VR game that I got with my VR. Only my friend has played it, and he said it was kind of iffy, so this might be something that I trade. I haven't fully decided yet, but it's here on the shelf for now. Far Cry 4 is up next. I think this game is really fun. I have some issues with it, but I think Pagan Min is fucking hilarious. But this is an absolute must-play if anyone is a fan of the Far Cry series. Far Cry 4 is a good time. Far Cry Primal, I haven't dove into yet. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I am really excited to even try it, mostly because I am a very, really big fan of the Far Cry series. But yeah, Far Cry Primal is here. Far Cry 5. I absolutely love Far Cry 5. I might have a slight bias with this game for specific reasons, but I absolutely loved Far Cry 5. This was the first Far Cry game that I ever played, and I had an absolute blast with it. I love every single villain in this game, and they all just bring so much to the table. Far Cry 5 is an easy recommendation from me. I know this is kind of an iffy one for some people, but I think, in my personal opinion so far, Far Cry 5 has one of the strongest influences of villains in the game. I know a lot of people say Far Cry 3 had one of the best villains in it. Yes, but I have my issues with how the story was told. But Far Cry 5 is consistently evil throughout the end with all of its bad guys, and I fucking love it. Play Far Cry 5. It's so much fun. Far Cry Dawn, another controversial one. It's basically just DLC for Far Cry 5. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard that it is an extremely short game, but I will be giving it a shot here soon. Farpoint, another VR game that I got with my VR headset. It was a gift, basically, and I did play through all of this. It was interesting. It's not one of my favorite VR games ever, but it's definitely an interesting little experience if anyone just wants a short story with a little bit of action elements, and you want a little bit of a Half-Life vibe. Find it cheap. Give it a shot. See what you think. It's a fun time for the most part. Evil Within was another series that I played on my OperationGamer live channel, and I had a lot of fun with this, be it a few parts kind of pissed me off, but the Evil Within is actually a really fun time. I think this is one of the very few survivor horror games that I've actually beaten, aside from half of Resident Evil 2. But Evil Within is a fun time. I definitely recommend giving this a shot. I do have the Evil Within 2. I haven't played it yet. Might be something I'll play on the channel, but let me know if this is something you guys want to see. So I don't have an opinion on this, but Evil Within 2 is also here. Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition. I've played a little bit of this. And then I had a friend who was kind of playing it with me, and then he kind of took over, kind of like how Grand Theft Auto was. And I'll be honest, I kind of fell asleep halfway through, so I have no idea where the fuck he is in this game. So I don't have a full opinion on whether I like Fallout 4 or not. But for what I played, it was kind of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start this over though. But yeah, Fallout 4. Now we start diving deep into the Final Fantasy franchise, starting off with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played through this on the channel, had an absolute fucking blast with it. I did play this before I did play the original, and a lot of people did have a lot of issues with that when I brought it up in my ranking. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, regardless of what people say, I think is still a fun time. If there are any of you who haven't played it yet and are kind of iffy on it, play it for yourself. See if you like it or not. Obviously, I have my opinions on this game when it comes to, people criticizing it. But I personally think it's awesome, and I cannot wait for Rebirth to come out. But give this a shot if you haven't already. Final Fantasy X and X-2. 10 being my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, regardless of unpopular beliefs. I absolutely love Final Fantasy X, and you're going to be seeing it multiple times throughout this series because I absolutely fucking love this game. I almost want to own almost every single copy of it, not going to lie, but I love Final Fantasy X. I haven't played X-2 yet, but I've heard it's a good time, so if you're interested in the Final Fantasy franchise and you like turn-based style like how Persona is, give X a shot. I think you would enjoy it. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. I had the Steelbook edition. My boss actually bought this for me because I helped him out a lot and with some stuff, but he actually bought this for me, and I bought this before I played the original Final Fantasy 12, and I have my iffy opinions on Final Fantasy 12. If y'all want to hear my opinions on all these Final Fantasy games, please check out my Final Fantasy ranking somewhere on my channel. I do have my problems and issues with 12, but I can see why people really do like it, and I'm going to be giving it another shot in the Zodiac Age version, because I hear there was a lot of updates that make the game a lot better, and apparently I've also missed a lot of side content on this stuff as well. I'm not going to get into it here, but Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, is here, and I do plan on either streaming it or playing it by myself, whatever I decide to do. Final Fantasy 14, the Complete Edition. I do own this for PS4, and I bought this and unfortunately installed it before I realized that I needed to download a demo, an actual demo, to actually play the free parts of Final Fantasy XIV Online. I'm currently playing this on the PC, which I think is a million times better. The interface is a lot better. So I recommend, if you're gonna try this game out, get it on PC. But it's fun so far from what I've played. It's definitely a little similar to 12, but I'll give my opinions on a future video. But I do own 14, the collection, for collector's sake. And of course, I do own Final Fantasy 15 as well. I own the original version. I bought this really cheap at a pawn shop. And then I bought the Royal version very cheap at a GameStop, actually, because I had a free coupon. It was expiring, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'll just get this for collector's sake. Regardless of what a lot of people say, I really, really did enjoy 15. I know it's a very controversial one that I didn't even know was very fucking controversial until I released my ranking. But I personally did really enjoy 15 for what it was. I'm not going to fight about it here. If you want to fight about it, go to my Final Fantasy ranking. But yes, I do own Final Fantasy 15. I really did enjoy it, regardless of what people say. Last up in all the Final Fantasies, I do own Final Fantasy HD Type 0. When I went to go buy this at the GameStop, that was right down the street from my apartment when I lived there, the GameStop employee was like, have you played this? And I was like, no. And he goes, it's bad. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went to my friend's house, and she also had a copy of Final Fantasy Type 0, and I was like, oh, hey, you have this? I just bought it. And she goes, yeah, it's bad. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. She goes, do you want it? And I was like, I mean, the one I got didn't have the original case, so sure, fuck it, why not? So she gave me the one with the original case. But I haven't played it yet, so I don't have an opinion on it, but I do have it. And of course, because we have the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, we also have the core collection for Five Nights at Freddy's. I own all of these on the PC, and the only versions I have played are PC, so I mostly just bought this for collector's sake, so it's sitting here on my shelf. Another game I have is Gang Beasts, another multiplayer game that looked like a lot of fun. I haven't gotten my friends together to play it yet, but I mostly have it for a potential video, so Gang Beasts is here. God of War is up next. I do own the PlayStation 4 remaster. If this is a remaster, I actually don't totally know. But I do own it. I bought this for fairly cheap, and I haven't played it yet, kind of like what I was saying earlier with the whole Ragnarok thing. But I do plan on playing it, and I can't wait to try it out. Grand Theft Auto 5 is here, complete with the map and everything. I already kind of told my story with this, where my friends kind of played 90% of the game already, but I still do this for GTA Online and trophies, so I do still own the PS4 version of GTA 5. Horizon Zero Dawn, another game that I got as a gift, and I haven't played yet. I have been threatened to not play it without one of my friends in the room, but this is another game that I haven't played yet, and I'm very, very intrigued to play it, so let me know if you want me to stream this. Then after that, we have Infamous Second Son, another game that I bought for fairly cheap from a recommendation from one of my friends, Xander. It's another game that I haven't gotten into yet, but I do plan on getting into it at some point. Inside and Limbo is another little cheap pack that I bought for fairly cheap. It looked interesting. I've seen at least Inside I've seen gameplay of that and it looked interesting. I haven't played any of these myself, but they looked really, really intriguing. So I bought the collector's pack just to see if I want to try it at some point. And of course, we're obviously going to rapid fire through these. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix. Absolutely great, great little game pack. Highly recommend getting it. And of course, I have 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Also, pretty good games. They only really have Dream Drop Distance and 0.2, but still a worthy pickup if you want to try that 0.2 little tech demo type thing that they did for KH3. So if you're a collector, pick this up. And of course, for all those OG fans, I do have Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. Really, really enjoyed this game. I do have some issues with it, but it's still a must-play nonetheless, regardless of what anyone thinks. Another controversial one that that people say I'm wrong on, but I really don't care. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. This was okay. I'm not a big fan of rhythm games in general, so I don't know what else to say about this. It was all right. It's Melody of Memory. I don't know what else to say. One of the first games that I got and completed as soon as I got my PS4, The Last of Us. Last of Us, such a good game, man. You love stealth games, you love intriguing stories, you love hard-hitting shit. Pick this up. Such a good time. Highly recommend. Highly, 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 highly recommend. This is such a good game. And of course, with me having the first one, of course I had to get part 2 when it came out. I know this is another very, very controversial one. I personally still enjoyed it. I definitely have my opinions where I think it could have been better, but this is still a fun game regardless. So if you haven't tried this out, play it for yourself, form your own opinions. I personally really, really enjoyed it. This next one I literally just bought because I could. I have nothing else to say about it. I told you guys about me getting Mafia 3 for very cheap. I still haven't played it yet, but it looked interesting, and I can't wait to actually try it. Minecraft PS4 Edition. The biggest reason why I own this, because I own this digitally, the biggest reason why I own this copy in specific is I rebought Minecraft like an idiot, and so I no longer have the Editions button, and I can't go back and get these other trophies that I didn't get for the multiplayer games. And I still haven't figured out how to do it. So here it is. And with that comes Minecraft Story Mode, both Season 1 and Season 2. Couple really, really good Telltale games. If you're into Minecraft, I recommend giving them a shot. I haven't played the PS4 one specifically because I own them on PC. Well, my brother owns them now, I don't. But they're still a really fun time if you're really into those choice-based games as well as really into Minecraft. Give this series a shot. See if you like it or not. Another one that I got for fairly cheap is Murdered Soul Suspect. There is so much potential behind this game. This was another game that I wanted to do a Halloween video on, mostly because I was really, really intrigued by the aspects of it. I was really intrigued by like all the mechanics and stuff like that. It did fall short, unfortunately, but it'll still be a game that I'll go back and replay every once in a while. So find it for cheap, see if you like it. It's a detective game where you're a ghost. It's pretty fucking, it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. Next up is Neo, The World Ends With You. Biggest reason why I got this was probably for collector's sake. I do have The World Ends With You on the DS. I haven't cracked into it yet, but biggest reason why I have this is because of Dream Drop Distance. So I bought it, and once I play the other World Ends With You, I'll give that one a shot. Next up, we have Neo. This is, I'm pretty sure it's a samurai game, if I remember correctly. I've heard really good things about it, so I decided to pick it up for fairly cheap. I haven't cracked into it yet, but I can't wait to try it. I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this. Only reason why I own this. A, Persona fandom. Because I'm a Persona nerd. And I want to do a series ranking at some point. And it was cheap at GameStop. This is the only dancing game I own, but it's here. We are down to our last stack. Thank fuck. Jesus, okay. Next up, we have, of course, Persona 5. I will be honest with you, I never heard of this game until around Kingdom Hearts 3 time. One of my coworkers was like, dude, you need to try Persona 5. I think you would really like it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And like a year and a half later, this was coming out for sale at the place that I work. And I had my girlfriend come down and pick it up for me because I wasn't allowed to buy video games because I was really new. And I hooked it up. I was hooked. I'm sorry if you hear a bunch of moving. Julie's doing stuff around there. I was hooked. I was immediately hooked. I love this game to death. Now, obviously, this isn't the superior version. In my personal opinion, this is the superior version. Persona 5 Royal. Hopefully y'all saw my video about me completing Persona 5, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for all the support on that. It was really fun to see. But once I heard that Persona 5 was getting a re-release with a bunch of new mechanics and stuff like that, I had to pick up Royal. I got the Steelbook edition. I bought this when, or I got it when COVID was a thing, and I actually didn't get this until a week, 2 weeks after release date. And I kept checking, being like, hey, where's my Persona 5 copy? Where's Persona 5 Royal? And I finally got it. I played through it. Love this game. Love this game to death. Highly recommend. And of course, after that, we have Persona 5 Strikers, another game that I played through on the channel. I also played through Vanilla on the channel as well, if you guys want to go take a look at it. Not this channel, OperationGamer Live, go check that out. But yeah, Persona 5 Strikers. It's really funny because I have a lot of friends who aren't into turn-based RPGs, except for Pokemon, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And they're really into action RPGs, and I know that they would love the Persona 5 story, and Persona 5 Strikers is a thing, and they can't play it unless they play the other one, because this is a continuation. But yeah, Persona 5 Strikers is a really, really fun sequel. Highly, highly recommend. Calling it a spin-off is doing it a huge, huge disservice, because this game is so much fun. Highly recommend. The theming of all the bad guys is fantastic. Highly recommend. Just play the fucking game. Just play it. It's so much fun. I own PSVR Worlds as well. This is nothing that I've gotten into. It's just a game that I saw for fairly cheap and just bought it. I have Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. This is also a game that I want to try to get into if possible. I got this Steelbook at a GameStop for like 20 bucks. I don't have the sleeve or anything for it, unfortunately, so it literally is just the bare Steelbook, but I don't have a whole lot of Steelbooks anyway. But yeah, I can't wait to give this a shot. It looks interesting. I just haven't gotten into it yet. Busting through some Resident Evils here, because we have the Origins collection with Resis 1 and 0. Haven't gotten into this yet, mostly because of the whole Survivor horror bullshit. But yeah, it's there. I own it. Resi 2 Remake is also here. I have only beaten Leon's campaign. I have not beaten Claire's. The Tyrant scares the fuck out of me, so I don't know how long it'll be till I actually beat that, but I do own this one, and Leon's campaign was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to actually finish Claire's. Resi 3 Remake I bought on launch day. I haven't cracked into it yet. I know people have their iffy opinions. It looks fun, obviously probably not as good as the other remake, but I don't want to give my opinion on it until I actually play the game. But yeah, Resi 3 Remake is also here. I do own the original Resident Evil 4 on PS4. I tried playing like the first hour or so of this, and the tank controls are just really, really hard for me to get used to. But eventually I will pick this back up and try to beat it, maybe after I'm done playing the remake. I haven't fully decided yet. Apparently I have a bad habit of that. But yeah, Resi 4 is also here in the collection. I own Resi 5 for the PS4 as well. Another game that I haven't quite cracked into yet, but it is here. I don't own Resi 6 for the PS4, but eventually I will add it to the collection at some point. But I do own Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I actually bought this digitally at first, but then I had a buy two get one free coupon for GameStop at one point, and there wasn't really anything that was intriguing me, so I decided just to buy the physical copy for the collection. I've played some of it. I haven't finished it, mostly just because, you know, the whole horror games thing isn't really good for me. doesn't really bode well for me, I guess is the better thing. But I do own the physical, and I do want to try to complete this at some point. Getting back into Tomb Raider, here is Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4, the special book edition. Literally, when I'm like halfway through Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox, I found this at a GameStop, and I was like, of course, now I fucking find it. And it was the 20-year celebration one, so I rebought it. I didn't care. It was cheap, and I just wanted it. So Rise of the Tomb Raider is also here. And with that comes Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I haven't decided if I like this one more than Rise, but this one, I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet. But this one is also a really, really, really fun game. Highly recommend. There's a lot more stealth in this one, so I think I might like this just a smidge better than Rise. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider, another one that I bought for cheap at Walmart. Have played this through. Highly recommend if you haven't already. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Of course, I'm a huge Persona nerd. I'm a huge SMT nerd. I had to own the HD remaster for Nocturne. I am playing it through the first time on the channel on Operation Gamer Live. Be sure to go check that out. We're getting close to the end point. But yeah, Nocturne HD remaster, it's here. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I've played a little bit of this. And I haven't fully gotten into it yet, mostly just because I've had a lot of other shit to do, but I also do own the VR version as well. The VR version I got as a gift, and I just bought the special edition at some point so that I could actually play the original version. But I do own Skyrim. I just haven't taken the full deep dive yet. Of course, we got SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I started playing this on the channel, and I think it fell off around the final couple levels. Unfortunately, I did finish this by myself. If I do have the original save file for this, I will complete it with you guys. I just remember I was having bad internet, and I was just feeling demotivated. So if I do still have the original save file, I'll finish this with you guys. I thought I did, but yeah, rehydrated. Next up, we have SpongeBob and the Cosmic Shake. I was originally trying to do a So I Just Finished of this game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with my schedule as well as us moving. I just didn't have time to write the script or anything like that. So I really do recommend this game. This game's a lot of fun. In my personal opinion, it doesn't have as much meat and bones as the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, but I still recommend this game if you're just looking for a nostalgia or something like that, because there's so many fucking Easter eggs in this game. So yeah, please pick it up if you're intrigued to see what it's like. Of course, we have Spyro the Reignited Trilogy as well. This is another one that I started on the channel and did not finish on the channel. I finished this by myself, and it's another one that I've been debating on coming back to and trying to finish with you guys, try to 100% it and all that cool jazz. But really fun. I only ever played Spyro 1 when I was a kid, so being able to play the other two games in HD is fantastic. So Spyro Reignited Trilogy, recommend. Thief, another game that I just kind of bought that was cheap and I thought would be an interesting game that I haven't gotten into yet. So if it's great, let me know. Witcher 3, another game that I have not gotten into yet, but hopefully we'll be getting into at some point. But I did buy it for fairly cheap for the collection, but here it is. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. This copy actually does not work, unfortunately, and it was past the point of that I wasn't able to return it. So, unfortunately, I am not able to play it, play this version anyway. I did buy it digitally, so I was able to play it, and it was still fun. It was still very, very, very much recommended. I thought the characters were extremely quirky, but whatever. But yeah, I recommend giving the Tomb Raider games a shot if you haven't already. We're gonna knock out all three of these at the same time. Of course, I love me some Uncharted. I got the Nathan Drake collection right here with 1, 2, and 3. 4, but I traded other games in for that. I think I traded a FIFA game in for that. And of course, I have the Lost Legacy. All three of these collections, so much worth it. Please, please, please fucking get it. If you love action adventure games, like these are a must-have honestly. These are just so much fun. Highly recommend if you have not given these games a shot already. The Untitled Goose Game I bought for shits and giggles, mostly because I played it with my friend on his Switch and I enjoyed it. So I bought it for PS4. Me and Micah are still trying to platinum it, but I have played it. Very fun if you play it with friends. Next up is We Happy Few. This is a game that Julie wanted to pick up because she watched Markiplier and Jacksepticeye play it, and she wanted a game that she could play while she was going through her surgery, and she bought it. I personally have not played it, but it looks interesting. So at some point I will start a playthrough of my own, but for now, it is sitting right here on the shelf. I semi-lied. It wasn't the end of the Final Fantasy PS4 games, but this is the last one of the run, and that is World of Final Fantasy. This is another turn-based one that looks like it has a lot of fan service. Not one that I have cracked into yet, but hopefully I will soon. If it's good, please just let me know. And that concludes all of my PS4, PS5, and Xbox One collection. Next week, we will be taking a deep dive into previous generations with PS3, 360, PS2, and original Xbox. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.